Splatoon has become one of Nintendo's most valuable franchises, selling a whopping 30 million copies as a series. That's nothing to splat at. The combination of stellar gameplay and frequent updates has been a mainstay feature of Splatoon since the beginning. They also redefined community events with their Splatfests. These timed events had you duking it out with other passionate players, as you determine which category wins the day. Will it be pizza or burgers? Pirates or ninjas? Marshmallows or hot dogs? Splatfests were a lot of fun, and I consider them a great way to develop the community while keeping people interested in playing the game regularly.
We've covered Splatfests before with Splatoon 3, but what about the others? I say we go back to where it all started with Splatoon 1 on the Wii U.
Oh my goodness, it's been so long. It's so dusty.
The original Splatoon 1 was arguably the biggest hit for the Nintendo Wii U, selling 4.5 million copies of those 30 million we talked about before. And for a console that only sold 13 million, that's pretty good. Sadly, the original Splatoon 1 is a conch shell of its former self, as since the Wii U internet ended, the online capabilities have been shut down. You can't even buy anything in the shops anymore. This is depressing, but that doesn't stop us from remembering the good times as we take a look at the Splatfests of the past. I will discuss each Splatfest in Splatoon 1. Their scores, my random thoughts on them, and my thoughts on who ultimately won or not. I did participate in a few Splatfests myself, and I'll tell you the teams I remember being on, as Splatoon 1 doesn't have an archive of which Splatfest you actually took part in. Thanks, game!
But before we do that, let's do a little refresher about the team leaders for these Splatfest events. That's right, we're talking about the stars of the Inkopolis broadcast, Callie and Marie. You know, I could go for some calamari right now. Oh my god!
The original Squid sisters were actually cousins. They would often spend their childhood stargazing. That was until they discovered a love for singing. They eventually entered and won an Inkopolis talent show. And all that happened before the first game even started. Callie and Marie always greeted you whenever you opened your game and started your splatting sessions. Callie is the outgoing one, always super energetic and smiley, ready for a quick joke or pun, while Marie is the quieter, more sarcastic and chill one. The pair made quite the duo that not only worked for the game, but also the Splatfests, as each one led their own team. They would also perform during each Splatfest, as these two started the tradition you would see in the Splatoon sequels. It all started with these two, and they are beloved to this day.
Now that we know the history of our Splatfest hosts, let's talk about the Splatfests themselves. Just a note here, we're only going to be covering the Splatfests of the North American region, just because those were the ones that I personally experienced. Maybe someday I'll do a video on regional Splatfests, but not today. Let's start with the ultimate choice of every pet lover, cats versus dogs.
Yes, the first ever Splatfest was the classic debate every pet owner has in the line at the pet store. Cats versus dogs. Callie led the kitty campaign while Marie is walking out man's best friend. The first Splatfest, and often most of them, would last for 24 hours of ink-filled mayhem. I definitely picked Team Dog for this one. Not only do I prefer canines, sorry my cat-loving viewers, but I'm sure my dog Rory would give me the sad face if I didn't represent that team. How could you not want to splat with that face? Fun fact, Splatoon 1 lobbies would change during Splatfest, showing Callie and Marie performing live during the event. It was a nice change of pace from the original lobby, and felt almost like watching a concert. The animation quality really isn't up to snuff as the Splatfest nowadays, but you gotta start somewhere. Cut them some slack for crying out loud. Plus their song, City of Color, was super catchy and matched the colorful vibe perfectly. God, I love Splatoon music. Anyway, back to felines versus canines. Thankfully, my team won. Barely. While dogs did win the popular vote, cats secured the overall win percentage by 2%. Still, thanks to Splatfest's unique formula, votes plus win times 2, Team Dog won by 20 points. A pretty close call. I can see this one being close for sure. As dogs may be the most adorable animals on the planet in my eyes, I also know the internet loves cats. It could have gone either way. especially nowadays. Keep in mind, these Splatfests happened 10 years ago. Regardless, I'm glad dog lovers pulled off the victory for the first ever Splatfest.
The second Splatfest involves something very typical for those wanting to go to an amusement park in the summer. Roller coasters versus water slides.
Callie, being the fan of the thrills, went with roller coasters, while Marie donned her floaties and headed for the water slides. I can't quite remember this one I chose all those years ago, but knowing me, I would have chosen water slides. Not because I really like them, but because roller coasters terrify me. Thanks a lot, Final Destination. This was also a pretty tight race. Water slides won the popular vote, but roller coaster got a much higher percentage of wins. Do the math, and roller coaster took the Splatfest 152 to 148. Again, it could have gone either way with this summer-themed event, but it makes sense roller coasters won. It's the first thing lots of folks think of when they hear amusement parks, and you can't deny that they are a thrilling time.
All right, before we continue, let's interject with a quick math change. The formula for Splatfest changed at this point. So instead of popularity plus wins times 2, it then changed to popularity plus wins times 4. Yay, math! Okay, back to the video. Summer Splatfests are really all in right now, and this time we're talking about what we prefer to roast. Marshmallows or hot dogs?
Callie preferred making s'mores, while Marie roasted the dogs. Hot dogs! Well, that's 2 times Marie supported dogs, even if one of those times has her roasting them over a fire and eating them. While both are good, I chose Team Hot Dogs, because while roasted marshmallows do taste really good, nothing beats a glizzy on the grill. Except burger and pizzas, but they aren't a choice. That's for later. Unfortunately, the hot dogs were left undercooked, as we got crushed in the popularity vote. Hot dogs did get the most wins by a couple percentage points, but it wasn't enough. Roasted marshmallows was so iconic, it took the Splatfest by storm. And yeah, looking back at it, I can see why. Marshmallows by the open fire scream summer, even under the sea. Hey, if they're underwater, how could there be a fun?
At the end of the summer, we had a special Splatfest featuring Transformers.
Yeah, Splatfests in Splatoon 1 would occasionally have teams involving certain trademarks. And the first was Autobots vs. Decepticons. Callie was ready to roll out on Team Autobots, and Marie joined the dark side representing Team Decepticons. I was not the biggest Transformers fan at the time, and honestly, still not now, but I know this was huge for a lot of people. Being able to represent good versus evil for a classic franchise you grew up watching sounds like a great adventure. But for me, it was just another Splatfest. So I just chose Team Autobots. After all, the good guys always win in the end, right? Well, actually, no. While Autobots won the popular vote by 63%, Decepticons were brutal in the battlefield, winning overall matches by 56%. The math did its math thing, and now evil has won the Splatfest. Look at what you've done, Internet! I can't say whether evil should have won or not, but I will say this was a cool Splatfest. And the special Splatfest that involved franchises outside of Splatoon, hell, even outside of Nintendo, add some more stakes to it, and just make it more interesting. One could say these Splatfests are more than meets the eye.
The first Splatfest of September brought me back to my college days of choosing a major. Arts versus science.
Callie grabbed a brush and embraced her artistic side, while Marie rocked her test tubes and began experimenting on the best way to win the Splatfest. I believe I chose Team Arts for this one. Not just because I'm a terrible scientist, but also because I'm a bit of an artist at heart. I'm just terrible at drawing. Mario Paint can prove that. But I do love visual art, and I believe artists deserve all the support in the world. There's no AI art in this Splatfest, and I picked the right team, as Team Arts dominated, winning the popular vote and match wins at 51% each. Sure, it was technically a close call, but in the end, math can't be defied, and art won the day. Is it bad that science isn't that popular, especially years later? Maybe so, but let's not talk about it.
Next comes the battle of transportation. Cars versus Planes.
Callie is ready to drive the competition mad with Team Cars, while Marie is just plain crazy with Team Planes. Not all of these are zingers. I don't quite remember which one I chose for this Splatfest, but knowing how many jokes I make about the movie Cars, I can take a guess which one I chose. That, and I freak out if I have to climb a ladder to change a bulb. How do you think I'll fare 30,000 feet in the air, stuck in a flying metal tube of death? Team Cars, baby! While Planes won the popular vote at 64%, Cars took the Splat wins 54 to 46%. And the math gods were in favor to the good old Cars. I can see why this won. While Cars are arguably more dangerous, people use them more every day compared to Planes. So it makes sense people would want to splat for them. Maybe people would have fought harder for Planes if they got their complimentary peanuts for every Splatfest.
Hello there, it's me again. Time to update the formula for Splatfest. Now, the winning formula has increased to popularity plus wins times 6. Oh! All hail the mighty Splatmath! What am I doing with my life? God, this brings back an argument of the past. Pirates versus ninjas. Remember when that was the hot debate of social media? Nowadays, people are just angry at each other for living.
Callie was searching for buried treasure with Team Pirate, while Marie was sneaking her way behind enemy lines with Team Ninja. I was Team Pirate all the way. I love swashbuckling and pirate trickery. I love playing Sea of Thieves. I was obsessed with the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy.
I love pirates so much, my girlfriend and I dressed up as pirates in an old-time photo. We look adorable.
Ninja was the winner of the popular vote, surprisingly, with 72%. I guess that explains why the Splatana became a future weapon looking back at it. But the Splat wins went to the Swashbucklers. And thanks to that multiplier, Pirates won the duel and sent ninjas to wipe the poop deck. While the debate between the two warriors is long forgotten in many people's minds, I feel like Pirates became the victor in a lot of pop culture, as well as the Splatfest. I may be biased, but Pirates are still looked upon more fondly. Ninjas are cool too, don't get me wrong, but nothing beats a story of sailing the seas and buried treasure. Now I want to watch those pirate movies again. Maybe ninjas would be better received if they stopped hiding.
Hey, remember when I mentioned I prefer burgers and pizza over hot dogs? Well, it's time for the next Splatfest, burgers versus pizza.
Callie fired up the grill for Team Burger, while Marie was slinging pies for Team Pizza. Hey, if you got this far, tell me your favorite toppings in the comments below. This was a tough one for me as they are both some of my favorite food, but I gotta go with Team Pizza. I just love it so much with how tasty it is, the variety of toppings. It's my favorite food to this day. Too bad it let me down this Splatfest. While pizza was certainly the winner of popularity with the Splat vote, Team Burger fried the competition with 56% of the wins. The multiplier destroyed any chance of a comeback, leaving Team Pizza. I know hamburgers are the all-American treat, but pizza is just timeless. It's one of my favorite foods. And the fact that it started the whole delivery craze that revolutionized eating as we know it, I just think that Splatfest got it wrong this time around. But that's just me. And now I'm gonna order some pizza as I watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ho ho ho! Santa Claus is coming to Inkopolis. And which list are you on? Well, find out in the Naughty vs. Nice Splatfest.
The mischievous Callie has her coal in her stocking for Team
Naughty.
While Marie is good for goodness sake and getting cookies for Santa in Team Nice. I can't remember what team I chose for this one, but knowing how much of a goody two-shoes I was back then, I probably chose Team Nice. Although if I were to do it again, I probably would pick Team
Naughty.
Nice was the popular vote winner, with 59% of squids wanting to get on Santa's good side. But in the end,
Naughty
took 59% of the wins, which led to their victory of the Splatfests. That does it! No Christmas presents for Inkopolis! Not surprised, as being naughty can be fun, even around Christmas time. And even I wanted to be bad at least once, so I can understand completely why it dominated the crown. The man with the bag may not like it, but I think it's honestly really funny. Apparently having a stockpile of coal to burn your competition is a lot more effective than feeding your opponent cookies. Team Naughty may not have anything under the tree, but they certainly have that win as a gift.
The present is boring, depressing, and financially unstable. How about we go to the past or the future?
Callie is one with the dinosaurs for Team Past, while Marie looks forward with Team Future. I wasn't really sure which one I chose back then, but knowing me now, I probably would go with Team Past. Dinosaurs are cool, and the future is scary. Future won the popularity vote with 61%. But again, the wins are more important, and with 55% of the wins, Team Past managed to cut Future's reign short, which makes sense. While the future is cool to visit, we're already constantly doing that. A lot of people want to go see the dinosaurs of the past. I see why people would want to travel there. Fun fact, this category would come back with Splatoon 3's Grand Festival, where Callie and Marie represented Team Past with Past, Present, and Future. And Past won then too!
You heard of Gotta Catch 'em All? Well, this time we gotta splat 'em all. Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue.
Callie burns her ink with Charizard in Pokemon Red, while Marie and her Blastoise blast the competition in Pokemon Blue. I remember getting the original Pokemon Blue back when I was a little kid, and I loved having Squirtle as my starter. So I had to choose Pokemon Blue, although I have to admit, I was expecting to lose with the popularity of Red, but to my surprise, Blue prevailed. Pokemon Red won the popular vote. No surprise there with Charizard down everyone's throat, but the water-type lovers stuck their ground and got the victory because of wins. Honestly, nowadays, I am happy about this victory. It would have been kind of boring if Fire Red won. Everybody expected a landslide victory, so it was nice for the underdog of Squirtle to win the Pokemon battle. I'm proud of that little turtle.
Are you a fan of winter or are you a fan of summer? This Splatfest answers the ultimate question: snowman versus sandcastles.
Callie is asking if we want to build a snowman, while Marie is on the beach ready to make the sandcastle of her dreams. I live in New Jersey, a beach area, and while I don't go to the beach often, I'd rather make sandcastles in the heat than freeze with Frosty. And the Splatfest gods agree! Snowman got the popular vote this time, but a 52% win for Sandcastle made the Man of Snow melt in defeat. It makes sense sea dwellers would prefer summer over winter, but I do feel bad for winter lovers and get why they may feel a bit icy. Hey, I'm sure another Arctic-themed fest will be back again someday. Yeah, these jokes are running cold.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. No, seriously, I can't hear you. It's time for my favorite Splatfest. Spongebob versus Patrick.
Yes, a Splatfest featuring the two most popular characters in Bikini Bottom. Callie is ready to support her Employee of the Month with Team Spongebob, and Marie debates if mayonnaise is an instrument with Team Patrick. My inner SpongeBob fan loved this Splatfest. A Nintendo game was referencing one of my favorite shows. I was hyped and ready to get my splatter shot and cry, Leo, Leo, Leo. Team SpongeBob won the popularity contest. He's ugly and he's proud, but Team Patrick managed to grab that win like a jellyfish in the net, and managed to get the Krabby Patty secret formula of success. I grew up with this show. I could keep going with these references all day. The win made sense to me because despite the show being named after SpongeBob, Patrick has always been one of the funniest and most quotable characters. He may be a big pink goofball, but he finally got the award he always wanted.
It's time to dress to impress, but the question is, what attire? Fancy party or costume party?
Callie wants to be the prettiest squid at the ball for Team Fancy Party, while Marie gets full into character for Team Costume Party. I don't remember having a preference for this one either, but knowing me now, I love me a good fancy party, as it's always nice to wear a suit and tie with these sort of things. And I was not alone, as Fancy Party dominated this Splatfest, taking both the popularity contest and the Splatfest wins. Costume Party was close with the percentage points, but not close enough. Again, not surprised by this one. With the number of proms, weddings, or just fancy shindigs there are, it's obvious people are just looking for excuses to dress and impress. It's clear why this fan favorite won out. Heck, they didn't just win, but probably won looking fancy. Also, fun fact, this was the first global Splatfest where everyone was in the same or similar category. As fun as regional Splatfests are, it's nice to play with people from around the world.
Next is the battle of productivity time. Early bird versus night owl.
Callie believes the early bird gets the worm, or at least the underwater equivalent with Team Early Bird, while Marie would stay up until 3 a.m. and eat a Krabby Patty with Team Night Owl. I can't get over these Spongebob references, hell! I am part of Team Night Owl all the way, especially now, even if I do have to get up early on work days. I'm usually the most productive at night when it's nice and peaceful. Nighttime editing is great, as long as I get it done before the sun comes up. The early to bed mentality did not help them out in the Splatfest, however, as Night Owl crushed the competition in both popularity and Splat wins. They probably didn't sleep to get the results, huh? Yeah, that checks out. I can see a majority of Splatoon fans being extremely sleep deprived, so it makes sense how it would just dominate the battlefield. Congrats, Night Owls, you won the day? Now go get some sleep, it's 4 in the morning!
And finally, the one we've all been waiting for since the beginning, the Splatfest to end all Splatfests, Callie vs. Marie.
That's right! These two have been splatting rivals for the entire game, so it would only make sense that the final Splatfest would be about the Squid sisters. And it was a huge event for the time. Instead of 24 hours like normal, it was 48 hours long. And around the 24-hour mark, the music in the lobby changed to play Calamari Incantation, the sisters' most popular song. There were special tie-in events too, like a course made in Super Mario Maker to celebrate. Art Academy held Splatfest Memories where you could make Miiverse art. God, I miss Miiverse so much. There was even actual Splatfest t-shirts for people to wear in Japan. I wish we got these, but getting actual t-shirts wasn't to be until the sequels. Despite it being a big event, I don't quite remember who I splatted for. But knowing who I am now, I would have picked Callie. Something about her seemed more outgoing, energetic, and silly in my mind, so I wanted her to win.
Well, it certainly was a victory for both Splatfest and popularity. But unfortunately for me, it wasn't for Callie.
Team Marie actually wound up winning both the Splatfests with 54% of the popular vote and 51% of the win. It was close, don't get me wrong, but Marie still took the final win. This is interesting, as if you've noticed, Callie won a majority of the Splatfests this season, so it was kind of unexpected for Marie to take the crown. But the math does not lie, and Marie became the fan favorite of the two. At least Callie was a good sport about it all.
And that's all the Splatfest for Splatoon 1. It certainly was interesting revisiting them all.
They were pretty basic as far as Splatfests go, but they've definitely improved a lot since then. So many more categories and factors are considered in the newer installments, so it was interesting to see how it all played out in the original game. But they were the ones that set the standard for future games, and for what was the most popular game on the Wii U, Splatfests were events that got people to keep playing the game. These fun events had people talking, choosing sides, posting art on Miiverse. I really miss Miiverse right now. And it set the foundation for the future of the series for what Splatfests would eventually become. And even though Splatoon 1 is no more, it's great to look back at these fond memories. Thank you again, Splatoon 1, for all the splats, all the memories, and helping to create one of my favorite gaming events in Nintendo.
It certainly was nice that Splatoon 1 only had like 16 Splatfests. I wonder how many Splatoon 2 has. Someday, but not today.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and check out my other videos too. Special thanks to everybody who helped me out with the video. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Also an extra special thanks to my Patreon patrons, including Mantelferox, Blu-ray Joe 3, and Savacom. If you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is in the description below, along with my Blue Sky, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night.